Today is the 18th of August 2020. Is it 2020? I'm just kidding. Um, I haven't recorded in a long time my daily days, which were just, like update diaries, video logs of updating where my life's at. And I think it became like I could feel like I'm super cautious of what I'm saying, or I think it's just started losing its sincerity because people started watching it. So I was like, I should say something that's smart or this or that, and I think it maybe lost its authenticity somewhere. Maybe that's just a thought. So that's why I would refrain a lot from posting it. But currently, what's going on is I've been reading a lot and analyzing a lot and reflecting a lot. And I was just reading this book, and I think it's going to be one of my favorite books ever. And it spoke about the fact that youth is basically not a time where we just want to, achieve things and get things and this and that, but it's a time where we lay a foundation for the rest of our lives. And therefore, it becomes more than achieving things in this time, that's where my mind was at. Like I should do this by this age, I should do that by that age. But this reminded me that it's actually time for training, to train yourself. That's what laying a foundation is, making your foundation as strong as it possibly can be for the rest of your life. And therefore, like Gary always talks about patience, and I feel like I was trying to understand it in that respect, where that perspective gave me a lot of happiness when I stopped comparing myself to other people, or when I stopped thinking, oh, I haven't accomplished anything, I'm like already at this age or whatever. But I think I started focusing on the present moment. What am I doing on a moment to moment basis to lay a foundation, like to lay a firm foundation for my life. It's not necessarily like time to achieve like my 5-year goals or whatever, but it's just a time of, like I said, training, but in like a more profound sense. I mean, like making friends, or learning how to make friends. So yesterday I was just reading about dialogue, the art of like having a conversation, but in a very humanistic way, not necessarily in a networking way, like how to get someone say a yes or this, or just like a dialogue, how to be free spirited and conduct like heart to heart conversation with people. That is so precious. Or just learning to appreciate your friends, learning about these really, really humane aspects of life, if that makes sense, because I was reading a lot of philosophy, and that's why it said that this is a period where my own life is taking shape. And that made a lot of sense to me, that this is this time where my life's taking shape. So that's why I've been reading so much and really enjoying what I'm reading, paying a lot of attention to what I'm reading. I've been like studying, I guess, ferociously. I think it was since yesterday when I was reading. When I liked something, I would obviously highlight and underline, but also write when something really, really stays with me. Really understand, like really learning to become a vessel who can retain information, not just like I read amazing stuff and then just forget about it, because that's like human mind, but really learning the art of retaining my values. Like if I read something and I'm like, oh my god, this is so amazing, I want to remember it too. If tomorrow I'm having a conversation with someone and they need help in some aspect, I can bring it up in that exact context. I think that is a quality of someone who's really, really sharp. And I see a couple of people in my life who just know exactly what they read, where they read from me. They even might know the page number, and it's so cool. I think that's a quality I'm working on developing, and I think that's how I'm learning to allocate my time in things that probably are bringing me a lot of happiness, but also bringing me a lot of ease, where you're not comparing yourself to anyone, where you're not in this rat race where I need to do this, I need to do that, and feeling incompetent and having that lower your self-esteem. but actually looking at things for the way they are. If you actually do have like 100 years to live or whatever, and in your youth, it is a time where you don't have so many responsibilities. You know, you don't have a family you want to look after, or you don't have, you know, a kid, or you know, some crazy responsibilities. I'm sure even youth has its crazy challenges, only one can imagine. But it's more of a time where you can take a lot of risks and actually invest time in reading and contemplating and reflecting and, you know, cultivating these really, really, I would say, very grassroots level of things that take like a lot of like, I don't know, it's like just this like in there's a phrase called a grassroots movement. When you're building a big organization or a big movement, it actually does not become big or magnificent through big actions, but the small grassroots level efforts that actually build. Because of this small grassroots effort is how you build a mountain. So yes, I was reading this analogy is a mountain eventually is made up of dust, and one small particle of dust started the mountain, just like a big river was started with one drop of the ocean. You know what I'm saying? So these are things that were coming on my mind, and I think that brought a lot of ease in my mind to be myself and, you know, write my goals of what, like, goals that are true to me, not the goals that I want to, you know, like accomplish to, like, you know, like look at me, which is completely me. I think a lot of times that, not completely me, but a huge percentage of the goals were based because I had a chip on my shoulder, I want to prove something. But I think now I just want to do, I don't know, I've just been thinking, like, you know, what I'm born to do, you know, what destiny has. Like, I believe we create our own destiny, but still, you know, like small reflection of like people are born to be a singer, an artist, or, you know, like an educator. And just like that, I really want to figure out what is it that I'm born to do. And that question brought up of, you know, how do I want to use my life? What is the intent of my life? You know, and once I read that question, and it made me again put a lot of things back into perspective of, you know, I have this life, you know, it's mine. How do I want to use my life, you know? Do I want to use it like just in vain, trying to run after these, chase these goals, and anxiety and fear, even if I do achieve them, right? It takes me like a year, 3 years, 7 years, 10 years. Is it all gonna be in anxiety, in like, you know, fear, in you know, like negative feelings, like, oh, I need, you know, like just anxiousness, unpleasantness? Or is it gonna be, or is it about the journey? Is it just about the destination where all my 7 years I'm just like, you know, fuck, I can't believe I wasted my life? Or is it going to be about the journey of my day-to-day, moment-to-moment? Am I treasuring that? Or am I just skipping my, oh, at 25 this is going to happen, or at 30 this is going to happen? What if it doesn't? Or what I even, and I've heard so many people really, like, as the past month, talk about how they thought accomplishing something would make them feel some way. And when they actually did accomplish that, when they actually made that money, got that dream house, or got that dream job, they were still chasing that feeling, and they were still chasing that feeling of, like, you know, this is not how I thought it would feel. You know what I'm saying? So learning a lot from that perspective, also, that it sounds so cheesy, but it is all about their journey. And I think I really want to treasure my life, not just what I can do, but just like my existence or whatever. And I'm finding a lot of you know, like understanding myself more in depth and really appreciating my life. And reading is one aspect of it, just reading beautiful literature and philosophy and things that really are enriching my soul. And I can feel it, you know, like I'm reading it, I'm happy, I'm just like, wow, this is so cute. It says, as though guided by destiny, and I'm like, wow, such a great line. And, you know, just like reading great shit. And I think that even this book, it talks about how reading it brings this remarkable freshness. And I really loved that word. You know, it's an autobiography of an outstanding, one of the most outstanding, you would call them philosopher or whatever, but I just look at him as a human being, one of the most outstanding leaders of the contemporary time. um, and how, you know, so this is a book which is not about what he did. Everyone knows what people do, you can always read it on Google, but how he was always that person before he accomplished that goal. And this is the whole journey of his before he reached the name and the fame and everything. So you see not just, you know, his super high times, but you also see his you know, determinations, and him constantly writing that believe in yourself, I am young, I will advance straight ahead on the road I must follow, I will fulfill my mission, I will muster up my courage. So you see that you don't just become some sort of a person, but how you live from a moment to moment basis leads to that big accomplishment, leads to that life you want to create. You know, so this records all his like frustrations and, you know, doubts and convictions and determinations, but his soul. And I think that was really special. Okay, then, logging off. Today is the 18th of August, 3:03 a.m.